Fairfield Board of Police Commissioners meeting. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. And I would like to ask Commissioner Millington to lead us in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. Gabrielle, are we all set up with the phone?
You are.
We are. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. Okay, we will go right to item number 2, which is the approval of the draft minutes from the regular meeting of July 12th. I move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carries. Item number 3, traffic surveys. I will turn the meeting over to Secretary Lebo for the reading of the traffic survey, starting with traffic survey A. Ma'am?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Survey number 1, location. Jennings Road at between Black Rock Turnpike and Hunyadi Avenue. Nature of the request. Egress from Hunyadi Avenue onto Jennings Road is compromised by parking at the location of 468 Jennings Road. 2 vans and 2 or 3 cars are frequently at this location, blocking the sight of lines of oncoming cars from Black Rock Turnpike, Jennings Road intersection. At least 1 van is parked at this location, 12-7. In order to see oncoming, relatively fast-moving traffic, one must inch out onto the travel lane and hope no vehicle is approaching. By whom, Janet Dombrowski. Recommendation: install no parking here to corner at 468 Jennings Road, west of driveway, 40 feet from the corner, so it is at a proper line. DPW to trim back trees and vegetation for the line of sight.
Thank you, ma'am. I'll first go to the police administration or the town administration for additional information or presentation on this matter.
Sure, I can speak on behalf of the police. Commissioners, if you look behind you on the map, this is Hunyadi Avenue at Jennings Road, and where they're speaking of is right in the corner here, use the mouse, by this park. And when people are coming out of Hunyadi Avenue, they are having difficulty exiting because of the line of sight if a vehicle is parked there. So right where the mouse is where we're talking about installing a no parking sign, so that it could, have a sufficient line of sight as vehicles are trying to exit Hunyadi while traveling on Jennings Road.
Okay. Yep. It's a pretty busy street. I'm up and down that street a lot, so plenty of experience with it. Questions, comments from the commission on this item? Mr. Smith.
I would just comment that it's, because of the location of that park, that works out well. We won't be taking parking spaces away from residences in front of their homes. So it makes it a good move.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Ambrose.
Yeah, I also note that the abundance of trees and vegetation really inhibits the sight line. So I assume that DPW is going to at least keep that trimmed or
Yes, sir.
maintain it?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Anything else from the commission before we go to the we'll come back to the board. Anything from the administration or the public on this matter? Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
If you would like to speak, please join us at the podium and identify yourself, name and address, please.
My name is Janet Dombrowski, and I live at 61 Hunyadi Avenue. And if you care to take a look at some photos, I would like to give them to you to show you that we're having more than just a little sightline issue. 468 Jennings Road changed hands about 18 months ago, and that's when we suddenly developed this influx of automobiles parked at that location. Even if the cars are parked beyond, out the driveway and beyond towards Black Rock Turnpike, there's a blind spot. And in order to get out, you do have to inch way out in the traveled way to see. Though the greenery is a minor issue, it's not really blocking our line of sight because it is back from the sidewalk. Basically, it's the cars and the trucks, specifically the van. The fellow that lives there has 2 panel vans, and at least one is generally on the street. And once, you can't see through them, so once you get out there, you're stuck. That's about it.
That's about it.
That's about it.
Thank you very much. We
Okay.
appreciate your input.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, sure is.
Hi, I'm Anna Nelson. I live at 506 Jennings Road, which is the Solman House there on the corner. And I'm very aware of traffic flow and how things go. I fully support the proposal to install a sign. The only thing I would like to say is that I do have a few concerns that if that sign is installed, which I fully support, that the parking problem is then going to migrate to the park. And what's happening here is that when people drive from Jennings up Hunyadi, they are gunning it. Seriously, people drive so fast there, I've put out my own personal signs for slowing down. And when people are parked on either side, and I'm very conscious about any guest who's parking on my side of the lot, that people are swerving into the middle of the road, people are making a blind curve, a blind turn onto Hunyadi there. They're not aware of anyone being parked there. And I'm just saying, I think we should post the sign, but we need to be open that if there's kind of a consequence of this with people permanently parking their vans there, it blocks access to the park and it creates another kind of driving hazard. So I just ask people to consider that. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And thank you for that information. We want to make sure that we keep an eye on that looking forward as if the sign goes in, what the consequences could be to the surrounding areas.
And that tree actually in this picture has already been trimmed back by the park.
Thank you. Anything else from the public on this particular item? Back to the commission. Any questions, comments, concerns? Yes, ma'am.
Did anyone notify the, I guess, male or female that owns the vans at all?
Our officers went and spoke to him, to give him our concerns, fully realizing that it's not illegal to park at the time.
Right.
He recognized that maybe it is difficult, but he didn't have anywhere else to park his cars.
You
So-
know, the driveway, I went down.
He had a driveway.
Okay.
Yeah, there are other cars in the driveway.
It is very difficult. You go down there several times.
Yeah, I think he's got multiple cars. Man, you probably would know.
Third and fourth vehicles
Yeah.
there.
Two vans and 3 or 4 vehicles.
Maybe he has a business that he's running, and he has his personal cars and his work cars.
Hey, just a question. The 40 feet, what is the standard in the neighborhood or in this situation?
25 is the
25 is the standard, so
Yes.
this is just a 15-foot extension of that due to conditions that warrant it, is what I'm
That's
hearing. Okay. Yes, sir.
I just feel that safety has to trump any other issue. If he has to find an alternate place to park his numerous vehicles, then that's his job to do, but safety has to come first.
To be honest with you, if he parks his vehicle on the opposite side of the street, it would probably help the situation a little better. Maybe that's where it goes.
Okay. Thank you. Well said, it's about safety, not about personality.
I'll make a motion
Wait, 1 second.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
I-
Did you have I'll come back to you, Jim.
Name is John Dembowski. I am the husband of Janet. I'm also wanting to point out, there is another street. I think it's Overlook, all right? So you got Overlook, you got Jennings Road, and you got Hunyadi. So if you're coming down Hunyadi, not only are you looking down towards CVS Pharmacy and that, you're also in turn dealing with the people coming from Overlook. So I got two different scenarios going here, and you're trying to inch out in order to see. So I think they need to be aware that there is that other street as well that creates the problem. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Mr. Millington, oh, did you have something else? Jan?
I'll make a motion to accept the recommendation to install that no parking sign here to corner.
I second.
Okay. Before we vote, Charlene had to say something quickly. Go ahead.
I just want to agree on that overlook. There's a slight hill, and you do have to inch out and look. And several times, you know, I'm coming out one way, and I'm looking this way, and the cars are coming. It's very difficult to see.
Great.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, we have a motion that's been seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstention? Motion carries. Okay, survey number 2.
Survey number 2, location, Hadley Road, at between Lloyd Place. Proposal of engineering DPW to convert a Y intersection to a T intersection. The recommendation approach will be to install stop signs at all approaches. The alternative proposal would be to switch exiting stop signs from Hadley to downhill approach on Lloyd, but would render Hadley as a straight-through movement. Having stop signs for 2 out of 3 approaches is not recommended. DPW paving street in August. Also recommended stop bars, stop ahead signs, temporary cones, markings to highlight new layouts. As of June 14, 24, some residents are aware of the project, but no outreach has been performed yet. By whom? William Furley, Town Engineer. Recommendation. DEP to convert intersection to a T intersection. Install stop signs on all approaches with stop bars. Stop ahead signs and temporary cones marking to highlight new layout. DPW paving street in August. Engineering to notify residents of the project.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, does somebody want to speak to this, Megan?
Yes. This is a sketch this is a conceptual sketch that we have. So we notified the homeowners via letter, a few of the homeowners regarding this conceptual plan. This is just a conceptual plan that we are doing. Today to present, this is our intent as the description says, as it is. You can see on the sketch, it's a Y intersection. We are converting into a T intersection with a stop sign. With some greenery extending the median, where, as you can see on the sketch, and a little bit of curb extension on the side street to provide more greenery. It will be our topsoil with the grass area, and just to reduce the pavement and to reduce the street, narrow the street, and so that there is a more improvement in traffic flow and more improvement for pedestrians than it is right now, because it's just a wide, a broader intersection. Then coming and consolidating to narrow streets and making pedestrian friendly and traffic calming approach while curb extensions and extending of the median. So this is the intent and the concept plan. It's very simple. So any questions you have, I'm happy to answer.
Could you just speak to the general safety differences between a T and a Y, and which way more roads are being built today, one or the other, and for what reasons?
T intersection is generally preferred over Y intersections. Now, in the scenario like this, a Y intersection is creating a confusion without any proper delineation in the lane. So, and it's also confusion where it's not specifically stop controlled, or it's a Y. So, it's case by case basis. It's not always the case that one can impose a Y intersection, but it's case by case basis. Most of the time, T intersections are preferred, and most of the time, Y intersections are not present. It's creating a wide lanes, and it's creating confusions to the drivers and to the pedestrians. So this is why we are converting this section into a T section. A T section is more better to not to create like sight line problems and not angles that it's hard to see the drivers and the pedestrians and create less conflict points.
You touched on one of my thoughts, because when you go from the Y to the T, how does that affect pedestrian crossings at that area? Does it improve it? Does it make it more challenging?
Well, in like Y intersection, like it depends on the case. Right now, I don't see any crosswalks over there. I don't see the sidewalks, so we can see that it's very hard for any pedestrians to use this roadway to cross.
Right.
Right, in this, you can see it's such a wide roadway, it's creating confusion. It's just, so to improve this and to create more pedestrian-friendly environment and to calm the traffic and to control the traffic, direct the traffic in a proper segregated manner, T intersection is, this is why we are doing that approach over here with the stop control. Right now, I don't see any delineation between pedestrians and drivers, and it's creating more confusion.
Thanks for that. Anything else on this?
I'm good.
Okay. Anything else from the police administration on this item? Before we go to the commission, comments, questions, concerns? Charlene?
I live not too far away from there, and actually I was going to bring this up because it's so confusing.
Yeah.
I cannot believe, or maybe there has been an accident there, because people coming up, you don't know if they're going to go straight, they're going to turn, and you have a lot of walkers, a lot of people riding bikes, and it's just amazing. It's kind of like they know the area and they know all about it. But I think this is really a really good start.
Mm-hmm. So it would become a true three-way stop?
Yeah.
Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yes, sir. Mr. Stone?
I was up there on the inspection, and
yeah.
one of the things that is blatantly obvious is that the speed on Lloyd is out of control,
Okay.
and that curvature and so forth would bring that to a halt, or at
Yeah.
least slow it down enough so that they don't have a long straightaway. So I think it would be a vast improvement.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Anything else from the commission? Comments, questions from the public? Ms. Sir, you have your hand up first, and I'll go to you for the two votes. If you could please come up and identify yourself, name and address, please.
Okay.
Welcome.
Thanks. My name is Craig Stearns. I live in that house,
Okay?
right above the arrow. And I have a dog and walk him in the neighborhood. And like you were saying, it's very dangerous and people speed like crazy. One of the engineers was outside the house, and I was stepping out because I would notice some drawings on the ground, and I was like, what are you guys doing? He's like, well, we're thinking about doing something here. And I was like, that'd be fantastic. Anything to calm the traffic, you know. I know speed bumps are not looked at kindly in this town, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that are more educated in the risks of speed bumps than me. I have zero education in that. So anything traffic calming is going to be a benefit. I know narrowing the road would be a traffic calming solution, but an intersection like this I think would be amazing. Because when you get out there, you don't know what's going on. You're looking in all these different directions. It's sort of like every man for himself. And like she was saying, people come, or no, you were saying, I'm sorry, sir, that people come really fast up there. And in the morning, all the commuters that are trying to go off the Merritt end up on that road. It becomes a real thoroughfare for all the contractors. There's contractor trucks coming one after another in the morning. And then when school's in session, it's even more dramatic. That's all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
How you doing? My name's Paul Zeitz. I live at 95 Lloyd Place. If you look at the picture, that biggest hump of land that you're creating there is in front of my yard. You're giving me no place to park my cars in front of my own property, for one thing, so it's going to be about 20 feet from my property. That green space that you're making is also right on top of my driveway, which is going to make it difficult to get in and out of my driveway. People come into that T in the road. In the wintertime, you're going to have ice jams from plows plowing into that one little section. trying to make that little turn to take a quick left turn to go down Adley. It's ridiculous. We should have started, first of all, I didn't get this notice from civil engineering till Saturday, the 6th. Something should have been sent out a long time ago. They've known about this for a long time. I called, as soon as I got it, I left messages in engineering department. You can ask Mega how many messages I've left to try to get an idea on what was going on. No one wanted to give me an answer. No one wanted to give me an answer. I got problems with your civil engineers where he finally hung up on me, which is ridiculous. Big thing we should start with is, like everybody says, yeah, they do race up and down that road. Morning time between 7 and 8, in the evening between like 5 and 7. Why can't we get a police officer there on the corner of Saddleview and Adley? I've never seen a police officer there with radar. Start with the basics. Why are the people that live there being hurt from the people that are racing up and down the road? That's what I'm saying. That property, you're tearing to my property. That big lump is going to make my property unlivable. You know, it's going to make my property unsellable. So that's what I got to say. But like I said, your engineers, no help whatsoever. If they're civil workers. They do not work for the people of the town. They work for themselves.
Okay. Before I go to you, ma'am, can the engineering department at least respond to the safety concerns, not the other stuff, please, regarding the ice, the snow, the plowing, and all in the parking?
Yes, as I said, this is just a conceptual. The whole we will look into, maybe not the greenery or, moving into any other resource, but the whole point here is to narrow the roadway and to create less confusion. That's the intent. This is the scope that we came with the T intersection, which is the best. And extending a little bit of median. With the grass, it is already a median, so we are just extending a median. Regarding his curb extension, we can look into further into curb extensions to maybe replace it with something else, which is not as difficult as the resident is offering. It has a concern on it, so that we can look into the curb extension. If that has to be, the whole point is to narrow the roadway, to make a T intersection, and to improve this, which is at this now, which is right now here. Now, in regards to the on-street parking, I would leave it up to the police expertise on this, how they want to address the on-street parking. If they feel that on-street parking should be removed or on-street parking should be kept, then yes, we can see into another option for that curb extension part that is in front of his house. So that's one thing that I will leave up to the police department to decide. Another point is about the maintenance. I know Mr. Paul called our office. I replied to him 3 times or 2 times whenever he called our office. I replied to him immediately to address his concern. And yesterday I was busy, so I couldn't call him on time, but I called him and addressed his concern. His concern was that I am not going to maintain this grass island in front of my house. As per the ordinance of the town of Fairfield, the homeowner is responsible for maintaining the grass, the sidewalks, the vegetations and the bushes in the towns right away. That's as per the ordinance. If his concern is about maintaining, that's the ordinance of the town. If his concern is about on-street parking, then I'll leave it up to the police department. With DPW, they're fine with going. We had that discussion because Bill Hurley has approved this. The town manager has approved it was his concept. He proposed it, he approved it, so he's fine with it. So I don't think DPW would have any problems. So that's where I am.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Excuse me, ma'am, hold on, sir. Ma'am, here's your hand up. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, I'll come back to the board.
Hi, I'm Laura Buchek. I'm at 167 Alley Road. It's the house with the white big truck in the driveway. I'm right across from Paul, actually, and right across from you now. I'm a little confused. You made a comment about the safety of the neighborhood, and someone else made a comment about the cops, potentially being in our neighborhood. I've been there for 33 years. We've had no accidents in the neighborhood. The 2 that I would call accidents were because a teenager was texting and hit her mom's mailbox, and the other one was me when I backed into my mailbox. We haven't had anybody come through here to check for safety. I think the biggest issue we have with speeding are the 2 stop signs at each end of the street. You go to the top of our street where we intersect with Lloyd, there's a car blocking that stop sign at all times. You go to the end of our street where the other stop sign is, there's only that 1 stop sign keeping people from coming up. People speed around that corner and come straight up because there's no other deterrent off of Saddleview. I don't think solving this way is going to work. The grass is an issue not only for Paul, but for Maria on the corner as well, who can't be here. My mother is also concerned about flooding in the front yard. She can't be here because she has COVID. So I just think we need to think about alternate options that aren't a 3-way intersection that's just going to cause much more confusion that's already there. I've never seen a pedestrian or a car confused at an intersection. And again, I've been there for 33 years. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Stone?
When we were up there, excuse me, there was a drawing that showed a bigger plot of grass in the center of the road. And the concept that was put forward then was the stop sign that currently exists on Adley Road, we would move out about 10 or 20 feet closer into the intersection. And then we would put a stop sign coming down Lloyd at the edge of that grass and a stop sign going up Lloyd at the same point, making it a 3-way stop intersection. That made some sense. It was just one plot of grass. It didn't have the narrow strip, I believe, that would interfere with your property.
No, either way, I just want to say.
Sir, no, we're not going to have a back and forth. I'm going to let him speak, and then I'll recognize you. Well,
no, I'm just talking in general.
That's okay, thank you.
So it's just, that's another concept that was out there and seemed to make a lot of sense. So my attitude right now is that we table this and give it more study.
Mr. Stone, thank you. Anything else from the commission members, Mr. Ambrose?
I'd like to ask Megan, do you have a survey of this gentleman's property, and how this improvement, the green area, would encroach on his property?
I don't have a survey, no.
Well, I'm sure you could.
Yes,
You can show us
definitely, yes.
that area that he feels is being deprived of his property.
Yes, we'll have to do a survey, full-fledged survey to determine the right-of-way. Yes, I don't have a right-of-way survey right now.
And I'm just trying to picture that area that he feels
Yes,
is
I
being
know.
taken from him, which is an issue.
Yes, I understand. This is just conceptual to reduce the confusions and the T intersection and the stop and the curb extensions and the median, so we are open to alternatives.
Why, this is before us tonight, and now they're saying next month they're gonna pave all of this. I mean, if this gets pushed out, they should really hold off on paving it until this is resolved, because it's a lot of additional asphalt that would be needed for the existing versus the proposed.
I agree,
Certainly.
yeah.
We wouldn't do that before we figured this out.
Well, I think that's beyond us, I don't know.
No, that is true. That is
You guys can handle it?
Yeah. We will, the DPW, this will be done by DPW work, so I think simultaneously they can do the work.
So they wouldn't, until we decide on this proposal, they
Yeah.
would not pave it? Or are they just gonna go ahead and pave what's there now?
That is a tough mark on DPW, because I don't know when this is on the priority paving list right now, so I'm not sure.
So here's the problem, is if we postpone this until September or October.
Yeah.
And DEP goes out and paves this road, and then we go out in October and November and rip the road up, that's going to likely create,
Yes, I agree, so I
More.
think, they will have to wait.
Well,
who's gonna come to wait?
I will have to.
Once
What's
the decision, that's what happens around here too. Once the decision is made from the commission, we will make sure that the necessary entities have schedules and stuff.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Millington, that's a great point. Anything else from the commission before I go back to you, sir? If you want to come back up, please.
I just want to say, my family has lived there since 1965, okay? Never had a problem there. There was a rotary in the middle of that road for as long as I can remember. It was right in the middle, right between where Adley and Lloyd intersect. There was a rotary, yield, stop, stop, yield. So why can't we go back to something like that? And like I said, get a police officer over there within those hours. I'll bet you after people find out that they're gonna get speeding tickets for going up and down this road, they're gonna find another way to go. So, like I said, I've never seen a police officer there. I don't wanna say nothing against them. Okay, I know you're busy, I know everybody's busy, but it's a dangerous road, yeah, people speed up and down it. Let's have a police officer there, start giving out tickets. That'll slow people down. Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
If you're gonna postpone the paving, perhaps you could at least paint the lines. If that could happen sooner rather than later, the stop sign lines at the bottom of Adley where it intersects with Morehouse, the stop sign at Adley when it comes into Lloyd, there's really very, very few, if any. You can't see any of those at all. Even coming up Morehouse, it's been gone for a while. So just a way to, in the interim, make it a little more safe. So.
It's a valid point.
Yeah, I'll just comment on that. There's a pretty high likelihood that DPW is not going to paint new lines with the expectation that they may be paving it. So similar to like what the commissioner said a moment ago, they're probably not gonna repaint lines that they know they're just gonna pave over in a short period of time.
Okay.
Regardless of what they do, whether they put the curb extension in or not.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Anything else from the public, the administration, or the board?
I have a comment. Maybe a suggestion would be to put some tall cones as a conceptual design to give you an idea as to how it would look, how it would react, how traffic reacts prior to paving. And maybe we table at this point, if that's what your decision is, and then with the tall cones in place, we could kind of monitor the area to see what's happening, and maybe the residents like it or dislike it even further, and you can kind of evaluate it based upon your tabling.
Thank you.
Yes, I agree with him. If we can do a little demo project on this roadway with the cones like we did it last time on Willow Avenue, just to have a sense with the residents and understanding of the engineers how the traffic flow and what confusions and stuff.
All right, so before we go any further on this, hey, Gabrielle, do one of you folks have a calendar in front of you to tell me what the second Wednesday of September is?
The 11th.
I'd rather postpone it to a date certain than just
September 11th.
September 11th.
That's when our next commission meeting is. We don't meet in October, in August, so.
Is the pleasure of the board to hold off on this, get more information, and review it again? Or is the pleasure to vote on this? What's in front of us?
I'd make a motion to postpone it, but I don't think we can do it to a date certain yet until we know how long it's gonna take them to do their surveys, the other.
2 months not enough?
Main question would be the paving, the postpone of the paving first. I mean, survey we can do within this month, but I don't know, I have to get back to DPW what the paving scenario is. That's the question.
Well, if we don't approve this, something until September, they're gonna be beyond the paving window anyway.
November-ish.
November
Yeah.
1st.
Why don't we give them a date and look at it? It's not ready by September 10th or 11th for us to consider.
All right, well,
We can postpone it again.
I'll make a motion to postpone it, based upon further analysis till, our next meeting on September 11th.
I'll second that. Mr. Stone, second? Yes, ma'am.
I'd like to see a survey of this gentleman's property as well as Mr. Ambrose from the commission.
Yes,
Is
sure.
that possible?
Yes.
Sure, we're happy.
Yes.
Okay. Anything else? All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Okay, so the motion to postpone it to, September, carries. Survey number, survey letter C.
All right, let's go. Survey number 3, location, Umpqua Place, Ave between Bank of America and number 41 Umpqua Road. Nature of the request, install no parking anytime sign on Umpqua Place between Bank of America entrance, exit, and number 41 Umpqua Place on the west side of the roadway. Parking in this spot makes exiting difficult to see oncoming traffic, and it is between two driveways. By whom? Lieutenant Michael Paris. Recommendation, to be discussed further, need outreach to businesses.
Anything else on that, Lieutenant?
Sure. So if you look at the map behind you, the one particular spot that we're looking for is already an illegal spot. Our specials are consistently ticketing people for parking, sorry, this mouse is not very, right where the mouse is, because what it's doing is it's obstructing the driveway. Yes, no problem. So if a vehicle is parked there, it's obstructing the driveway. So as they're trying to enter or exit, trying to make that turn is difficult because of a vehicle parked there. So it is already an illegal spot, it's just not posted as an illegal spot. And we're trying to divert people from getting the ticket and then appealing it, and we having to agree with them to say, yes, you wouldn't know that's an illegal spot. So we've received, I think, 10 appeals so far with people who are ticketed, appeal it, and we have to reverse it because it's not posted properly.
So that said, that part of it sounds pretty simple. If it's illegal, then if it's signed, then it fixes the problem you just described. You're not recommending that we even do that now?
Yeah, my recommendation would be to install just a sign to say there's no parking in that one spot. And we're fully aware of there's businesses there that need parking. However, if somebody is parked there, it's a dangerous spot to be in because you can't see as you're exiting.
Okay, because I thought I was looking at the wrong version of this, because the recommendation here is to discuss further need outreach to businesses.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
That's under discussion, right? You're gonna put a sign up?
I would like to have, with your approval, I'd like to put a sign up that says no parking at that spot.
where it clearly is already
Would it-
illegal to be there.
That's correct.
Okay. So I guess we could, if that's the pleasure of the board, we could make a motion to do that, if that's everyone's thought.
I'll make a motion to approve that
I'll second.
sign in that one area.
Okay?
Second.
Any discussion on that sign? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed, abstentions, that carries. Any further discussion on the motion or the recommendation to discuss further? Sounds pretty obvious, right? Okay, all right, good. Okay, survey D.
Survey number 4, location, North Benson and Post Road, westbound lanes. Nature of the request for LTA review, request state to cross hatch or provide smaller shoulder so ours doesn't look like a lane. By whom? Lieutenant Michael Paris. Recommendation, approve, state to cross hatch or provide smaller shoulder so wide shoulder doesn't look like a lane.
Thank you. Lieutenant? Sure.
So what's happening here is the right lane on the Post Road is very wide right lane.
Yeah.
And when a vehicle stops in the red light in the right lane going westbound toward Westport, again, I'll try to point to it. Right here. Because this lane is so wide, if a car stopped here, people think behind it that they could turn on this right side lane. And when the light turns green, this person says, hey, I'm ready to go and turn right. We've been experienced accidents.
Sitting on my right.
People are passing on the right because of the wide lane. So we're hoping that with a crosshatch from here to here, it would, prohibit people from passing on the right, thinking that it's a full right lane to pass. So state statute says that if the lane is wide enough that you can pass, however, it's causing accidents. So it's,
Is the state likely to be cooperative in our request, or?
I think they would be. Megan, maybe you would know for.
Sorry, what's the question?
Is the state likely to grant us what we're asking for here?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Just curious. Sometimes that's a challenge. Sure.
I'll make a motion to accept the recommendation.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions, that carries. Thank you. Okay. Item 4, monthly report for Jim. Any comments from the administration on the report?
I don't have any comments other than, significant increase in traffic enforcement, as you can see, and that's been very steady over the last several months. And we are gonna continue that effort. And then, in addition, I'd love to just give a quick update on the status of hiring. So, Navin Nair was the first candidate on the promulgation of our list. He was the lateral transfer from Wilton. He has just completed FTO as of last week. He is on his own and doing fine. Jordan Irizarry was next. He was sworn in this morning. He passed all the pre-qualification requirements, and he is leaving for the academy tomorrow with a start date on Friday of the actual academy. Tomorrow is like they go in and they do the physical agility test. And then Friday is the start of the academy. Will Todd was the next on the list. He was disqualified as a result of the physical agility, could not pass after 3 attempts the run. And we moved on to number 5, Cassidy Kirby, who was hired by Woodbridge Police Department and set to go to the academy on July 12th, which is Friday. And we picked her up literally yesterday. They'd already done a background check on her. We had her psychological, we had her polygraph, and we kind of stole her at the 11th hour from Woodbridge. But that was her choice. She was next on the list, and she resigned on Monday, and we hired her, put her through HR this morning, and swore her in this afternoon with Jordan Irizarry. Clayton Corkins, the gentleman that was applied from California, he has not passed the run yet, but tomorrow he gets his third crack to try to pass the run at the academy, and if he makes that attempt, then he will come back and we'll process him through HR, and we will bring him over to Selectman Gerber's office for a quick swearing-in ceremony because he needs to be sworn in. So the hope is that right now we have 2 that are pre-qualified and are starting the academy on Friday. The hope is that Clayton Corkins completes his run tomorrow, and he starts the academy on the 12th as well. Yeah, who's after Clayton?
Andrew Lapis.
Andrew Lapis, yes. He is also a special officer with us, if you remember that. He looks like a good candidate. He has 2 other departments that have already started his background. And if we have another slot open and available, I would love to pick him up to get him into the October academy.
Hey, what is the run again?
I'm sorry?
What is the run? How far is it? How fast do you have to be? I mean, how difficult is it?
For that age group, 21 through 29, it is 12 minutes and 39 seconds for 1.5 miles.
So 6 laps.
That's correct, 6 laps, and it's about 2 minutes and 5 seconds per lap, with a little bit of time to spare.
A pretty good pace.
It's a pretty good pace.
Yeah. And they move it up as you get older?
Well, they give you more time as you get older, yeah.
That's what I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Now, as far as the list...
15 minutes left.
As far as the list goes, can you just refresh us on how many would be left on the list once these guys are done, or this group is done, and that next possibility is?
Yeah, so if you remember, after Lapis is Zach Berry. He's the one that's not 21 yet. I did really well on his interview. He'll be 21 in December. We'll see where that goes.
Okay.
In fact, I think Zach Berry is before Lapis on that.
But the age thing flipped them.
But the age thing is flipped,
Yeah,
that's
right,
correct,
right,
yeah.
okay. All right.
So in the event something opens up before then, we would take Lapis before Berry.
Right.
But if not, then Berry would go in before.
And then beyond Lapis and Berry, there's still 2 or 3 more, right?
3 additional, yeah.
3 additionals that are still hot or active?
Active, yes, sir.
Any surprise retirements that we didn't know about last month, or?
No surprise retirements. Joe Calson worked his last day on June 17th, and he is officially retired on July 17th.
Okay.
So in a couple of days, he's going to be retiring. We're going to do, on the 18th, we're going to do a little walk outside the police department to Colony. You're all welcome to join us for his last sign-off. And on the 17th of July, we have the Fairfield Police Foundation Sunset 5K down at, and you're all welcome. You can run it if you want, but I don't know how many if you want to run it.
There's a running requirement for the commission.
But you're all welcome to come down and see the event and how many people participate.
All right. So with these three, hopefully the third, then we should be pretty good. That's what you're saying. You're solid.
We are.
Awesome. Good. Thank you for that. Back to the report for the month. Questions from the commission members.
So,
Mr. Pop.
I see the parking tag, $34,000. Does that include the railroad stations too, or not?
Well, some property is maintained by us and some property is maintained by the parking authority. So we calculate what is, what comes from us.
Okay, what if, there's something where somebody has so many tickets, you guys,
Yeah, we have a scoff law. Yeah, anything over $250.
can you collect that, not the park there, right? That makes
Yeah, it depends on, so if Eileen Flora comes to us and says, I have this person who has $1,000 worth of tickets,
Right.
we'll kind of, we'll put a campaign on that person in order to try to get her paid back. So we work in collaboration.
They thought originally that these scoff laws, you guys collect, they get regular terms, you don't know.
There were a lot of crashes.
Okay, well, anyhow, $34,000.
You guys have any questions?
That goes into the police,
Gentlemen?
fund.
On the report,
Over
you good?
10,000
Joe?
from last year.
And that goes to
Joe, you
your budget, not
Yeah.
It goes in our revenue bucket. Ultimately,
Oh, no, I don't know.
ultimately, that goes to the, but that's counted as revenue within our annual budget.
Ms. Lebo has a couple things.
On the wildlife, complaint,
Oh, yeah.
is it going up?
Just tell me what page you're looking at.
On the animal control.
Okay, animal.
Yeah, the shelter.
What is it?
Because I know there's been a lot of coyotes around and everything, but I don't hear any problems.
So wildlife complaints could be coyotes, it could be possums. The other day, we had a badger in the garage. The officers went there and handled it. Yeah, so like, it could be anything. Mike, you could probably give a better assessment on whether those numbers are up or down.
I couldn't tell you if it's up or down. However, the complaints coming in for coyotes, et cetera, are kind of consistent. So they ebb and flow as we go through the season.
Yeah.
Nobody's been hurt or animal complaints?
No.
in animals?
And they're actually down, I think, last month, I think they've been 43 last month.
got that.
It's just hit or miss, people think wildlife is here when that's an everyday, or a loose dog, so they fluctuate, but they're not, it's not an alarming high number compared to past reports.
Some of those complaints are dogs on beaches.
Hi, sorry, I have a client that's just like,
I love my train. Now,
No, that's good. And at first, I've seen on social media a lot of complaints, so it's just kind of curious.
Yeah, it's anything that's not an owned domesticated animal collar in their owner's yard, so to speak.
I just left Alaska, it was a week in Alaska. I saw no bears, but I read in the thing, there are more bear sightings than bears.
I know.
Kevin Coble had a bear in his yard the other day.
You did?
So yeah, it's, they've been around.
This one I saw at Park Avenue a little while ago. I got a question. Now, the state law is if a bear is threatening you, your life, you can legally shoot a bear, right? That's legal.
Yeah,
Now, what
as a
about,
result of the Monroe case.
right, now what about coyotes? Can people shoot the coyotes if they're threatening?
I mean, I think they would, I'd have to look it up. I don't wanna go on the record saying yes, that you can.
Well, I know the state law.
We usually call animal control.
I know the state law, you can shoot a bear now. Coyotes.
They would have to threaten you. right?
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah, we have,
You can't change
we apply for permits through trapping counties on the golf courses happen all the time,
Yeah.
but it has to be done through a licensed
Holy shit.
wildlife.
If they're attacking you or danger, I'm sure you could.
only has them out. Yes, I can understand that.
Oh, they're around now, a lot of them.
I have a question about the fireworks. Should that be later on or during? I heard about fighting on the beach from, can anybody enlighten me on that one?
I could,
Because
yeah.
families try to stop it and they're getting involved and,
Sure, so, at the fireworks, we had, 6 officers per beach, kind of allocated, and there was a report of a large fight at the beach by the volleyball. Ended up being, an argument over a volleyball game that had dispersed prior to us, and nothing, it was not a big deal at all.
people blow it up.
Right, yeah, it was, I mean, it came in as a large fight, we responded as such, and didn't turn out to be that.
Thank you.
If I could just add that Hector sent out an email to Parks and Rec today and all the other entities that coordinate or collaborate for the fireworks to do an after-action debrief for the things we could have done better and things. Because everyone has a part in it. DPW, Parks and Rec, police, fire, we all have a part in it. And oftentimes after the event, we never get back together to say, hey, where could we have improved here to make it better next year? So this year, Hector took the initiative to put that together.
Thank you.
There's so much to cover and there's only so many of them.
Right.
And
I think the police did an
I thought,
amazing job with traffic. I was down there by the open space, and I was, in the fire, I think it was in my house at 9:43, that's how fast they got you out.
Wow.
That was amazing.
very good. You guys do a really good job.
Well, they closed the road, I think that helps, you know,
Yeah.
you know, all the way around,
Yeah,
so that,
made a right towards Home Depot.
Yep.
Great.
Oh, great job.
It was, good job. Hector, congratulations to you and your family.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're right.
Great job.
Proud papa there.
You betcha, you betcha.
You got big shoes to fill, I don't know.
Yeah, right, all right. All right, anything else from the commission? If not, we can entertain a motion to adjourn.
So motion to adjourn.
Mr. Klein, Mr. Stone, all in favor?
All in favor?
Opposed? Thank you.
Thank you.